Hey guys, welcome to this video, and in this video I will talk about the Tableau training. So whenever somebody is starting a Tableau training, or like I started the Tableau training, I was very excited because it looks like very simple, and I just thought of diving directly into creating visualization that will help my learning. But soon after, I got like bit frustrated because when I was working on my business requirements and trying to create and cover up those business requirements by creating the visualization, I felt like I don't have enough understanding and an idea about how to tweak different things so that I can achieve the business scenarios or the business expectations that they are having from the project. Now, this I believe is the situation with every new beginner, that somebody is really excited that they want to dive deep directly into the Tableau or any other business intelligence tool that you want to learn, and basically find yourself into some sort of frustration that what's really going on and why I'm not able to achieve it. So to resolve all of those sort of situation, what I've devised is basically based on my learning 5 steps that you can basically take to take your knowledge level on the intermediate to expert level. And these 5 steps, in my view, if you follow, you will not have the frustration and will achieve the maximum output from the Tableau or any other tool that you want to learn. So let's go ahead and see what are those steps and how learning can become a good or a great experience where you are enjoy the learning and not getting frustrated right after 1 week or 2 weeks by basically saying this tool is not helping me or does not have all the capabilities, where it's actually not true. So this has happened with me, and I thought of creating a video on this, so I hope you will like it. So let's go ahead and see the first step. So the first step is to understand the rules of games. Before you understand really how this inner working of this particular software is basically working together along with the external interface that you need to understand. There are like hundreds of options which are out there, which I don't really recommend that you understand all of the 100 options, but at least have a fair idea about where each of the option really present, about the different sort of visualization and the metrics that you are planning to achieve. That's basically, in my view, is understanding the rules of the games, that how this system works, how it aggregates the data, and how on the front end, or where in the front end your particular options are present. And having this rules of engagement, which I say, or rules of games, which I say, if we know it better, we can excel in our games. Just think like if you are let's say from India, you are pretty much fond of cricket, right? Because everybody follows that. And if what happens, let's say if a cricketer is going into a field and does not know the proper rules of games, that you need to have a 22 yards of wicket and there should be a proper field placement, bowling should happen, how in-swinger, out-swinger needs to happen, all of those different things, which is basically rules. Similarly, you need to make an appeal and coordinate with your players. All of those things is basically comes handy when you know all of these things, and once you know these things better, you basically excel in your game. So your game is basically to learn and understand Tableau. And if you have the basic understanding by going through first couple of initial blocks directly from the Tableau, I don't recommend anybody else's, but directly from Tableau, just go and search with the what is Tableau, how Tableau works, what are the basics of Tableau, all those sort of things. If you will spend even if just 1 or 2 hours, I'm pretty sure that the next experience that you will have will be pretty good. Now let's look at the second step, which by this image what I'm trying to refer is that be basic. Just try to understand your colors, how they mix it together, and how you can create like basic art by utilizing this color and basically play it around with it. I would suggest don't go with a lot of complex visualization which is by default present into any of the tool of your interest. And specifically if I talk about Tableau, don't go with like Gantt chart, histograms, all of those kind of things which are like statistical in nature, or project management sort of chart like Gantt chart which I just said. So if you create like some very basic stuff and try to interpret after creation what you have created, this will go in a long way, not only understanding how to create something but why you have created something. So basically play it around with the basic stuff after getting an initial understanding or the rules of the games about the Tableau or the business intelligence tool of your interest, and then just be very basic for at least 1 or 2 weeks to try to understand how these basic things are basically working, and how everything you need to connect together so that you are creating a good stunning visualization. Things like, first of all, you basically select the dimensions and measures to create a chart, then basically flip around or swap the dimension and measure just to basically check whether the chart is coming properly as per the expectations or not, and then displaying the label, changing the color, all of that sort of basic things, which is very good when you are basically learning the Tableau, because these things are pretty straightforward when you apply it without even prior knowledge. It's pretty intuitive that color tab over there will going to change the color, size will going to increase the size, how you will basically display the labels and all of those sort of things, which is like very basic in nature. I suggest that you try that. Once you have got basic understanding of how basically Tableau works and these basic functionalities that you can achieve, after that I would suggest go little deep into the core concepts. The core concepts are basically your, let's say, dimensions and measures. What are dimensions and measures? What types of dimension and measure you can create? Whether a dimension can be a measure or not, or whether a measure can be a dimension or not. All of these are basically an ideas or thoughts which you should have to understand the core concepts. Why a particular dimension you have to take an average, or basically count or sum, how you will take a distinct count in situations in which you need to take a distinct count. Similarly, you have a lot of marks like the color marks, the size marks, the the layout mark, as well as there is a slice mark which comes only when you create a pie chart. So once you have all of that understanding, you will be able to actually play around pretty easily with the Tableau as a system or other tool which you are for which you are getting a core understanding. And I will give you one other simple example. When I was starting learning the Tableau, I was working with one of the simple table where I needed to add like 10 different columns to it. And when I tried to add 10 different columns, I got very frustrated because right after adding the 6th column, all the columns were merging up together. Now I felt like this tool is really either stupid or it does not have the capabilities that I am asking it to add the simple columns to the table, but why it is not doing it after adding the 6th column? Is this like a limitation which each one of us will think, well, if we don't know about how the inner working is basically Tableau has for handling the basic tables. And if we know this thing by understanding the core concept, I'm pretty sure that your experience will be amazing and you will be delighted to basically configure its part, which is helpful in developing these stunning dashboards and visualizations. And as I said, dashboards and visualization, that's basically your next step should be. So if I talk specifically about Tableau, first I will strongly suggest that you get a basic understanding and understand the core concept by creating different sheets, because in each sheet you can create only one visualization. And once you have got an idea about it, move on to create the dashboards. For example, a dashboard which I have showing it over here, which is basically nothing but the collection of different sheets. Now dashboard itself is a very amazing and a very big topic within the Tableau, and you can achieve a lot with the dashboards and all. So once you have got the basic idea and core understanding of the features of the Tableau, move on to the dashboards and stories, which is basically a collection of the different sheets, so that all of your story or all of the different parts, if working together, your end user will have a good idea about it. So having a good understanding of dashboard and stories, by creating various dashboard and stories, you will get a good idea of it. Now this basically creates another question, that how to create a lot of dashboards and a lot of stories, how can we get the data? And that's where I have the fifth step for you to basically unlock the potential of open data. Now open data is today available on the various sites. Even if you search by open data, you will find the lot of articles and lot of data sets which is openly available to you, on which you can create the visualization. The basic part is to understand why this open data is available. For example, there is a open data which is available related to the Airbnb. There is an open data that is related to the diseases. There is an open data which is related to the economic indicators on the World Bank site. So all of that open data is really available. It's just that you need to think it around in what scenario or what basically story that you are trying to prove. For example, there is a less fund available on those countries which are struggling with the GDP, or why a particular disease happens. Is it because of the demographic or because of the habit of a certain type of individual? Similarly, rain, when the rain will going to happen, what kind of conditions which needs to make sure that a rain will happen in a particular country at a particular time. All of that sort of things which you will, if you think around the questions around it and try to create a visualization which is just an exploratory or basically explaining why you are trying to create it, open data is basically available to you to create it. So basically these are all the 5 steps that you can take. So if I revisit these 5 steps, the very first step, relax and understand the rules of games. The second step is be basic and achieve simple results. Third step is get a very strong hold on the core concepts. Fourth step is, with the help of all of this knowledge and core concept, create dashboard and stories to communicate your story. And the fifth step is practice with the help of open data that is available to you. If you are in a job, it will make you an expert. If you are not in a job, it will help you land in a job. If you are preparing for any certification or data journalism, or if you are a blogger, it will go in a long way to make you an expert into the Tableau as well as any other tool which you are picking up. So I hope you will find it useful. If you find it, hit like and share it with your friends and colleagues so that they also can get an understanding. The more you share, the more knowledgeable, the more debate will happen, the more knowledgeable you will become.